All right, you guys. So, Rinda Emick, your Presidential Diamond, and I've got a very special Zoom in store for you guys tonight. I cannot wait for you to hear from this couple. I've been like their secret little stalkers since conference, probably. I think one of them knows. But I'm just so excited for you to hear from them. There are so many amazing things that this couple does, but just to give you kind of a quick, and they're going to share their story, but Jarrod and Porshea Wilkins, you guys, they have been in this industry for a very long time, and I love that they have so much wisdom in the industry and their vision behind being here at It Works Now. And so I don't want to tell too much about their story, but I will tell you guys, I mean, they have come in and been like an It Works tornado, you guys. They went Presidential Diamond in 60 days. Now I'll let them share a little bit about the details, but I just want you to know, like, that's mind-blowing, and I'm so excited for you to hear and soak up anything that they're going to share. So get your notepad out or your notes on your phone and be ready to take notes, because this is going to blow your mind. I promise you are going to pick up some success clue. Make sure you have it ready to write down, okay? So, all right, so I don't want to take up any more time. We are right at 7 o'clock my time, so Jarrod and Porshea, will you guys go ahead and show your beautiful faces and just let's see, maybe you guys, oh, there you are. Okay, cool. Yay, you guys. I am so excited to have you on. So go ahead and just share a little bit. Again, I didn't want to go too much. You guys have everything from ministry and all this stuff, the amazing things that you guys do. So I want you to just share a little bit about your background and just your industry, a little bit about your industry experience with us. Thank you so much for being on.
Absolutely. So yeah, our internet was acting up just a few seconds ago and we dropped off and just came back on. So we missed the first part of what you said, but you're grinning really hard. So we know it was awesome.
I gave them a little tiny, like just a little, all I said was they went presidential in 60 days and you guys have a lot of industry experience. So I didn't want to go too much into, I wanted you guys to share. So.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping on here as well. And thank you, Rinda, for inviting us to come on and share. It's always an honor to be able to serve the big team and to share our story as well. But my journey in network marketing started in 2005. I was working in corporate America. I was a brand manager for Victoria's Secret at their corporate office in Columbus, Ohio. And so when I was there, I managed $1 billion collection and was only getting paid $36,000 a year to do that. And so for me, you know, I was definitely living paycheck to paycheck, struggling. But one day I was walking down the hallway and the executive assistant to the CEO stopped me and asked me if I wanted to make some extra money. And I asked her, of course, like, how? And she put me on a conference call. So that was my first exposure to network marketing, a conference call. I liked what I heard. She did a three-way, introduced me to her upline. And then they do what we call BAMFAM, B-A-M-F-A-M, book a meeting from a meeting. And they BAMFAM'd me to a weekly briefing that they were doing. So I went there and I saw the presentation, loved it even more. I joined. And it wasn't a big success for me financially, but it was from a personal development perspective because it showed me what was possible. It reminded me that nothing was wrong with me. You know, working in a corporate job, I just wasn't gelling well with everybody else. And, you know, I didn't want to be insubordinate is what they would always say. Yeah. And, you know, I just wasn't listening to their liking. Okay. And that had nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I just wasn't supposed to have a boss. I was just supposed to be one.
Yes.
And so I did that company for a few years. And even during that time, so Jarrod and I were actually in that same company, but we didn't know each other. We were in that same company on the same team and we didn't know each other. And so I relocated back to Texas from Ohio, back to Houston, and still was in network marketing, but part-time in a different company by then. And was traveling, speaking motivationally to high school and college students, still not making a whole bunch of money, but sold out completely on the industry. I was like, this is it. I am to be an entrepreneur. I am to be in business for myself, and I'm going to be here. And so it wasn't until 2009 where Jarrod and I, well, 2008, he and I connected over the phone. In 2009, when he was launching his next company, I was on his list of contacts. And so he called me and prospected me for that company. He invited me out to a presentation, and I showed up, got started. We worked together. It was strictly platonic. And he was just my business partner, my coach. I was his top producer for the first year. And then I guess he was like, you know what, let me recruit her again. He was trying to secure the bag, y'all. And so I gotta keep my top producer working. Let me make him a girlfriend.
Wow.
Tell the truth on today. So yeah, we built together for about a year, and then we started dating. We dated for 3 years, got engaged, married 6 months later. So that was 2014. We got married, and we just celebrated 5 years. 5 years married, 10 years together.
That's right.
And we've been doing this whole time. Yeah. Never marketing.
Never a dull moment.
Never a
no
dull
bad
moment.
time. What? Everybody that we talk to joins.
Everybody.
We don't have to talk to them.
They all join.
We just send them an inbox. Everybody just opens up. They're like, give me the top package, I'm in.
Yeah, they join. They either join as a distributor, as a customer, or they join the no-no club. Everybody joining. Babe, you tell your half of the story.
So what she said.
No, when did you get started in networking?
Well, I got started as a baby. I was born.
Silly.
I got started, I was born, and I was a healthy 7 pounds and 3 ounces. And when I came out the womb, I came out with a microphone, and they said, he belongs in network marketing. And so since I was yay high, knee high to the grasshopper, I've been in network marketing. And like I said, everybody's just joined. It's been peaceful. I mean, everybody I talked to, I've never had a person tell me no. Nobody's ever not shown up to a conference call, a Zoom meeting. Everybody shows up on time. It's been easy. This has just been an easy business. Everybody that uses the products, it works for them the way it's supposed to work when they order. I mean, we have no back orders ever. All the Thermophyte X came on time. I mean, this has just been peaceful.
The sarcasm, it's so heavy. It's so heavy.
I'm just kidding, but you know, yeah. I mean, we started early, and thank God I did. At 20, that's the first time I got started in network marketing. I come from a interesting background. Both of my parents are attorneys. My mom is from Nigeria, and my dad is from here in the States. He's from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So they met in undergrad, went to and ended up going to law school. And what was interesting was when my mom was studying for the bar and studying to be obviously to pass the bar is actually the second hardest test to take. The first is the MCAT, to become a medical doctor. And then the second is the bar. So she failed it 3 times. So as she was going through this process, we went back home to Nigeria to memorialize my grandfather, who is her father, and my grandmother, my late grandmother, who was a guidance counselor, ended up telling my mother in the wee hours of the night, unbeknownst to me, I didn't sign an agreement. I didn't agree to this at all. She told my mother to leave me in Nigeria. Now, my mom kissed me at 5, and I didn't see her until I was 12. Now, this is before social media. This is before the internet. This is, how many of you, by show of hands, are old enough to remember when we had to write letters and put a little stamp on it and send it? How many, by show? Anybody ever, y'all come on, where is Brandy Jennings? She was walking in it looked like sunlight. Well, y'all come on here now. Where's everybody? I feel like, yeah. Okay, there we go. All right. I see you rolling in the car. Brandy's out there getting her jog on. It was beautiful.
You laughing because you called her out.
I saw the palm trees and stuff. I'm trying to figure out where she was at. All right. So anyhow, that kind of started my whole process of network marketing. Watch this, being left alone. Yeah. You can only grow in the dark. If you notice that seeds don't grow on surface, they grow in the dark. And the reason why so many people's businesses don't grow in network marketing is because they're surface growers. They don't want to go into the deep reservoirs of darkness to be fertilized and to be germinated so they can bear much fruit. But anyway, that's a whole different sermon. So here's what happened. So I got back in 94 to the US. Now I grew up with no mom, no dad, no running water, no electricity whatsoever. And I grew up in an environment and a culture that's very difficult, very hard, an upbringing that was very tumultuous. And so when I got back, the US is so easy. That's why I always joke all the time. A lot of the problems that we say we have in our business and in our life, there are people praying for our problems. Like, think about it. You can go into your home, your apartment right now, and turn on the light switch, and the lights actually come on. You know, you pay your bill, your lights are on. Back home in Nigeria, you can pay your bill, turn on the light switch, and the lights won't come on. You watch this. You can take a shower. You can say, you know what? I've been working out. I've been taking my hydrate and all this. I need to just go ahead and take me a shower and clean up. You go in, turn on your shower head. You can watch this. You can turn on hot water, and you can turn on cold water and get your warm shower. Or you can take a bath. Back home in Nigeria, no, there's no shower. We have to literally go down to the river, go and get the water in a bucket, carry it on your head, carry one on your left arm, one on your right arm, walk for miles back home to take a bath out of a bucket outside. America is easy. So now here's this. So how does that all relate to network marketing? What I'm sharing with you is all of the experiences that you have in your life are the reservoirs of talent and skill that are transferable in our business.
That's right.
Especially those of you, by show of hands, how many of you have had a child? You've like literally carried a human in your body and pushed the baby out. You come on, everybody raise your hand. Okay.
Or a C-section.
Okay, or a C-section. I mean, yeah, you've carried a lot. So listen to me. If you have done that, it works is like on a scale of 1 to 10, giving birth to a child is like an 11. I know this from not personal experience, but it looks and sounds like an 11. On a scale of 1 to 10, building the It Works business on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being sitting on the sofa, 10 being childbirth, doing It Works is like a 2 in terms of degree of difficulty. So you're not hanging the moon. All you're doing, write this down, is you're talking to people about things that matter. That's it.
That's it.
Money matters, and their health and wellness matters. That's all we do. Now, where you find the people, whether they're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, at the grocery store, stations where y'all. Okay, that means there are people everywhere. You know what I know about people? People are like dust. They're everywhere. Online, offline, you never run out of people, right? We never run out of people. It Works in 18 years is still having tens of thousands of people enroll every single solitary month.
So you made money when you first got started?
So I didn't make, I made money. Of course I made money.
How much? You can tell me the truth. You don't have to impress me.
Huh? Look, I made a lot of mistakes. I mean,
money mistakes.
You know, the first 6 years, here's the truth. The first 6 years, I didn't make a lot of money. Matter of fact, I didn't even make $100,000 combined in 6 years of doing this. And I was really doing it, like coming to conferences, going to different seminars and workshops. I went and met with Jim Rohn and saw Les Brown and all these. I mean, yeah, I was in there taking notes, suited and booted, a well-dressed mess. But I was hungry. Write this down. You got to be hungry. Everybody asks, well, what's it take? You've got to be hungry. See, we can feed you, but you have to be hungry to eat. And so I would go to all those conferences. I would be giving presentations. I would be prospecting. I would be doing the things that are required, but I didn't make a whole lot of money. But here's what I was doing. I wasn't at that time building my bank account. I was building my faith account.
That's good.
Are you listening to me? So some of us, we're trying to make withdrawals out of our bank account, but the challenge is we haven't made enough deposits into our faith accounts. Mm-hmm. That's why you keep coming back with insufficient funds. Mm-hmm. Are you listening to me? Becoming an executive is easy when you've made a proper investment into the faith account. Becoming a ruby, an emerald, a diamond, a double diamond. See, all those are positions or receipts. Everybody write receipts. All of these positions are simply receipts that prove you've made enough deposits in your faith account to make a withdrawal out of your bank account. So my first 6 years, I wasn't making, oh God, I hear you. I wasn't making withdrawals. I was making deposits. Mm-hmm. I was making deposits in the faith account. See, every time you get on a webinar like this, guess what you're doing? Making a deposit. Every time you come to conference, you're not just making a deposit into your checkings, you're making a deposit into your checkings and your savings. and if you really do it correctly and ask the questions and stay around the leaders, you make a deposit into your checkings, your savings, and your investment account. Because we all know when you make an investment, there is a return on the what? Investment. So that's what I did the first 6 years, darling. Yeah. And then seventh year, number 7 is the number of what? Completion. It's the number of completion. I was completed making those initial faith deposits where I began to start making withdrawals. Mm-hmm. So the 7th year was my first 6-figure year, $117,000 for the year. You couldn't tell me nothing.
And that was the year he met me.
That's right. It took me 6 years of making deposits so I, on my 7th year, can make this withdrawal.
Come on, somebody, preach, sir.
Oh, somebody's pulling on me. All right, let me calm down. Okay. So let me just go ahead and turn the call back over to her. Let's ask the next question because I will keep going on and on. I'm drinking keto coffee. I call this. We don't call it keto coffee on our team. We call this diamond nectar. This is the diamond. You want to break diamonds? You want to go diamond and break diamonds on your team? You have to drink at least 2 cups a day. Okay? 2 cups of the diamond nectar a day. Okay? And then you wash it down with the greens. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, I love it. I swear we could just listen. I'm sitting here even taking notes. I have never heard anybody refer to it as a faith account. Like, that's so beautiful. So what I love that you guys have shared is you guys have, it's perspective that you have that's incredible. It's almost like this new comp plan and the new charts. You know, people before January, they don't get it. They don't understand that diamond with 15 boxes is nothing when we were building, you know, with 24. So it's all about perspective. So what I'd love for you guys to share is just that vision of the difference. Like, I know you guys have industry background. And a lot of people have gone through several different companies. This is my first company, but share the perspective of the vision that you guys see with It Works. Like, what made you guys want to partner with It Works?
Well, we've been through quite a bit in the industry, and was just we were looking for something different, something that felt pure, and something that had the ability to help us expand internationally, because that's really big for us, international, without the headaches that we had experienced in the past. And you know, we were 2 companies for 10 years, over the span of 10 years, 1 company for 7, another for 3. And, you know, they just didn't deliver with the international for us. And that was very, very important. So we wanted to have like a startup opportunity, but backed by a company that had a solid financial and track record. And so initially, when my husband got the call about It Works, he was not interested whatsoever. He was like, I'm a dude, I'm not selling no wraps. Women, what is that? Wilkins, women wraps. What did you say? Which order?
Oh, no, I said women wraps. Wilkins, no.
And so when we looked at the numbers, because you don't do $500 million a year. Who is that with the baby?
That's Tawani Brunson.
He's a kid. Is that a girl or boy? It's a boy. Hi, cutie.
He's ready for some greens.
We gotta go show the plan.
Look at him.
Hey. But we love kids. little boys. But so to do $500 million a year in sales consistently, which is what It Works has been doing, with people that we did not know.
Yeah.
Because we're very connected in the industry. We know a lot of people. And so we looked at the top income earners, and we just looked at the people here, period. And we did not know anybody here who was winning real big like that. And we're like, how are they winning so big and we don't know them? That was number one. And then number two.
Sounds so arrogant.
Where's the truth? That's what we said. And so for us, it was like, okay, there must be something there. Babe, you looking here, not up there. Okay. It must be something there at the company, because you don't produce those type of results for consistently as It Works has, and not know what you're doing. Right. Like something is working. Okay. And so when we looked under the hood, that's what we saw. It Works. They came out with other products. All we ever knew about was the wrap. That was it. And so when we saw the keto coffee and the greens and the fat fighters and all that, I was like, oh, okay, we got something to work with now. And so I told my husband, when he was sent the information, he didn't even look at it. He didn't read it. He just forwarded it on to me. And I looked at it and I told him, I said, babe, listen, we always talk about being open, because we know who you connected to is taking you somewhere. And we always talk about stepping outside of, our box and meeting new people and expanding. And so they've given us an invitation to come and take a look under their hood. Let's fly up to Tampa. Let's see what's going on. And so we flew, we went to Bradenton, we went to corporate, and met with Mark and Mike and Tammy, and Kyler was there, and we met with Tiffany Patillo as well. We met with the whole crew. Pam was even there the first day we went. And so we just invested 2 days there, getting to know the people and getting the understanding of what you guys have already built and what you've already done. And for someone with experience like ourselves, like we know what to look for, we know what questions to ask, and we know what to stay away from our past experiences. And when they told us that they were looking on going on another run, we got excited, because there's different types of momentum. There's company momentum, and then there's individual momentum, and there's group momentum, And so if you're fired up and you're ready to run, but the company isn't, nothing's going to happen, because they have to be able to back up the production that you do. And so there were, Mark is like, listen, I got my second win. I'm ready to take this thing to a whole nother level. I'm still dreaming. I'm still believing. And Mike Patillo as well, who's like a brother to us. We was like, okay, yeah. He was fired up and ready to go. And we looked at his track record too. It just made sense. We couldn't, for us, it was about a feeling, because we know that wherever we go, we're going to do the work. And so we just wanted to be at a place where it just felt right, where it resonated with us. And so that's what we felt here. So when we walked through the doors at corporate, I got goosebumps. And I told my husband, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is before saying anything. And so as we looked deeper and further, we just kept getting confirmation and confirmation. Yep. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. It's time to roll. And then we just started turning the wheels.
Was going with the intention of saying no.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. And even when we were leaving, I was still intent on saying no.
He was.
Which I did. I said no going and no coming back.
I love it. It's just so incredible to hear that perspective, because a lot of people, and I don't know, with other companies, but a lot of people in It Works, this is their first network marketing company. This is their, like me, I didn't even know this was an industry. I was a hairstylist, and I heard, just you've got this wrap, maybe you can do an add-on service, and I was broke. I'm like, cool, I can sell it. So that's all it was for me. And so I didn't understand, but I got connected with a really great mentor. And I told Porshea, she reminds me so much of my mentor, of all the things that she was teaching me in the beginning. And what I love about you guys is you're always in somebody's living room, or you're always in front of people. And I feel like that piece is sometimes missing with social media, right? Like we didn't have when I started 8 years ago, we didn't have social media to build on. I did it presidential without. And I love, you guys are like a breath of fresh air for me. I'm like, okay, we can, stop talking about the social media for a second, and let me just hear from Porshea and Jarrod, okay? It gives me, I love people, and I love being in front of people. And I feel like when you hear somebody enrolling, 200 or 100 people a month on social media, you try to go that route, but it's not, for me, it's not my comfortable place. I do it and I get results, but I'd much rather be in living rooms. So would you share I mean, you guys, like every time I see it, it's like someone's living room or a hotel. So I'm like, you guys have got to have some tips or something. What do you guys, what's a standard for you, or what's a standard for your team? Like, what do you teach them as far as do you recommend them doing so many events a month or a week, or what is that for you guys?
Well, since you said it, now I feel, good to come on out and talk about our strategy, right? Because, and here's the thing, I think there's an interesting line within It Works as a company, as well as network marketing as a profession, whereas we're meeting, and I was just commenting on Eric Worre's profile, and I think it was Eric Worre, it's either Eric Worre or somebody else's. But anyway, about 10 years ago, there was a guy named Mike Dillard. I promise you, I give stories because I like people to have context, right? Because if you don't have the right context, you'll always draw the wrong conclusion. So let me give you context, right? Because network marketing, write this down. Everybody taking notes, write this down. 70% of the sales in network marketing happen person to person. These are statistics according to the Direct Selling Association, which takes the circumference and the totals of revenues coming in. They give an account of it from, by and large, most of all the companies in the entire space. So you're talking about thousands of companies that generate in excess of $200 billion a year in revenue. So I want you to just wrap your mind around that. $200 billion a year in revenues generated in the network marketing space. Let's put it into perspective. The National Football League, NFL, generates right at $9.5 billion totally. I mean, totally. Is that the right word? Totally.
In total.
In total.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I didn't graduate. Well, I did graduate. I have a PhD, public high school diploma. But anyway, so here we go. So 9.5. I'm here to give you hope. I promise you. 9.5. You see this black guy in It Works, and he and his wife went presidential in 60 days. What's your excuse, right? Anyway, so here's the. Stay with me. 9.5. What you eating? What's her name right here? She eating something. Is that ice cream? Hey. All right. You got to share with us. See, this is why we do in-home meetings, because when they start eating in-home meetings, we're like, hey. See, on social, you can't do that. Anyway, y'all are missing all the fun. So 9.5 billion, the National Football League does. Music and entertainment. So this includes Taylor Swift and Beyonce. Music and entertainment does about $16.7 billion a year in revenue. Movies, like all these blockbuster movies, like what's coming out? Avengers is coming out. So categorize Avengers and all these movies this year will do about $80 billion. Last year did over $80 billion in total revenue. Mm-hmm. So you have the NFL, 9.5 billion, music and entertainment, 16.7 billion, and then you've got the movie industry, 80 billion, network marketing, 200 billion. Are you listening? Do you see why there's so many people inside of It Works and all of these other companies making $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year? Some people, watch this now. This is going to blow your socks off. Hold on to your pearls. I've got friends in other companies that are making in excess of $300,000 a week. How's that for a wake-up call? 300 G's a week, and they haven't even hit 30 yet. They're not even 30. Can you imagine what you'd be doing with $300,000 a week?
Nothing, on a beach somewhere.
Okay, and he's still doing meetings. He's doing more meetings than me. He's in living rooms and dens around the world. Like he lives on a plane. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So when you look at that, 70% of that 200 billion. Somebody do the math. What's 70% of 140 billion? That's with a B. Of that 200 billion is generated off social media. Yeah. All right. Everybody take a deep breath. All right. Now.
Anti-social.
No, we're on social media now. Matter of fact, I invited her to the first meeting 10 years ago. Watch this. On Facebook Messenger.
This was like when they first got Messenger. He sent me a message.
So I sent her a message to invite her to a meeting. Write this down. Meetings make
money.
Meetings
make money.
Meetings
make money.
Meetings
make money.
Meetings
make
Hey, meetings. By the way, if you're not having fun while doing this business, you're doing it completely wrong. Right? You should just go get a job, hunker down for the next 40 years. It's going to be a long ride. You need to be having fun, okay? Because think about it. There's nothing in your life that that you do willingly unless it's fun. All right. So 70%.
Invited me to a meeting.
Yeah, I invited her to a meeting on social media. So our disclaimer is we're not against social media, but I want you to know how to be, watch this, ambidextrous in your approach. Offline, online. And then when you become skilled at it, you can intermingle the two. You can be doing an in-home meeting while live streaming it on Facebook. If I had a mic, I would drop it. All right, so that's how I invited her to the meeting. But once I realized that, here's what our philosophy has been. It's what I call the onboarding process. Everybody write that down. Onboarding. Onboarding is this. When a new person joins your team, and I'm not impressed with people that enroll 100 people a month, 200. I think we've personally sponsored in the last, this is month 7, by the way, for us in It Works. And I don't think, no, we haven't recruited this many people in any other company we've been with this fast. We've recruited maybe 60 total people. Maybe 60. I got to go look at the numbers.
In our previous company, how many we do?
About maybe 50 in 3 years. Yeah. So recruiting a whole bunch of people is not
our millions doing that.
Yeah, it's not our philosophy. So in our previous company, we personally sponsored about 50 people, and that 50 grew into a team of 25,000 in 3 years. Wow. Are you listening to me? So it's called the onboarding process. You see, when you recruit, you have addition. When you sponsor, you have multiplication. How many of you want your check to be multiplied?
Amen.
See, I don't want to add zeros. I want to multiply zeros, right? So how do you multiply? You stop focusing on recruiting and put the onus and the focus on sponsoring. All right, so what do I mean by sponsoring? Sponsoring means I become responsible for showing my new teammate the system and the steps for success, whatever that is for you. I'm not saying our way is going to be right for you. I'm not saying our way is the only way. What I'm saying to you is you have to have a way whereas you onboard your new distributors into the activity of the business. Right. Are you following me? Now, what I always, and we always teach this to our team members, you have to be careful of all of the plates you eat from.
This is good.
You have to be careful from all the plates that you eat from. Why is that important? Well, it's important because when you eat from so many different plates, you don't know which one makes you sick. Like if you have a tummy ache, if something, anybody ever had a tummy ache? Come on, raise your hands. We all had tummy ache. Yeah. You always think back, what did I eat? So when your business is sick, oh shucks, it's on life support. It's coughing. You're coughing up volume and you're coughing up loyal customers. You ought to be. What am I feeding the team? What did I eat? Is this helping?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So my onboarding process keeps me from getting sick. Yeah. So I can always trace back. If a person's business is sick, I always trace it back to the onboarding process. I didn't feed you food that makes you sick.
No.
So you are eating from some other plate, watch this, that may not be the temperature, the proper temperature for our home. You follow me? So now, the onboarding process for us is we don't take people immediately to social media. No. That's not what we do. We don't tell them, hey, let's host a post right away. We don't teach them, hey, let's do a live broadcast right away. Why? Because it's a newborn baby. Think about it. Those of us that have had kids, you don't take your newborn baby and let strangers or people start touching their face. So here you are, This is the difference between recruiting and sponsoring. You're about to take a brand new distributor and put that new distributor's face out there for Facebook to touch. What if they say, oh, I tried one of those wraps, it didn't work? Because they put it on they were 302 pounds and they thought they were going to lose 100 pounds in 45 minutes.
Yep.
So it didn't work, right? So we don't do that. Here's what we do. Write this down, please. Provide and protect.
Right.
This is a part of my onboarding process. I provide information of what to do, and I protect them from the negative feedback they could potentially get if we are not controlling the environment. Mm-hmm. So you asked, what do? We teach them, and there's several steps to it, but the long and the short of it is we do a game planning session with our new team members. The game planning session is to find out why they're doing this, what their reason is for doing, because what we now have to do is invest time with launching their business. And I don't want to invest time away from my wife, from my daughter, from my family with somebody I don't know why you're doing this. Right. Why are you doing this? So that's the purpose of the game planning session, is to find out why they're getting started with the business. And then number two, it's also to get them to the proper desired result in the shortest amount of time. Mm-hmm. And so during the game planning session is when we book out their 4 in-home meetings. We call them sip and shares. Mm-hmm. Every new person that partners with us, the goal is for them to have 4 in-home meetings within their first 30 days or less. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's good.
4 meetings. So now this sounds antiquated. I know this sounds esoteric. I understand this sounds crazy, but this is how we've gone from person recruiting 60 people to now a team of almost 27,000 enrolled.
And it works.
And it works in 7 months. How? I'm telling you, the onboarding process is multiplication. You follow me? Okay. Can I let you in on a secret? Can I let you in a secret? Can I let you?
Give them the secret, baby.
Please do.
Give them the secret.
It's easier to build the business fast than it is to build it slow.
Yeah.
Oh.
What? Yeah. It's easy to do this fast than it is to do it slow. That's the secret. Do it fast versus doing it slow. Mm-hmm. So everybody sets up 4 meetings, whereas they take out their cell phone, they invite some of their friends over to their home.
Build a list.
Yes.
Of 100 names.
Mm-hmm.
So very similar. Build a list, 50 people that are potential loyal customers and 50 people that are potential distributors.
That's right.
And so we have a 4-checker system that we use to categorize that list.
Okay.
Just based off of the statistics in network marketing.
Give them the 4 characteristics. I think that'll be helpful.
Yes. So 25 or older. And the reason why that age is there is because by that time they're more settled in their career and what they want in life. So that the learning curve is shorter. So 25 or older, married or in a relationship. And the reason why is because it shows commitment, but it also shows 2 lists, because the husband knows people and the wife knows people. The girlfriend knows people and the boyfriend knows people. So you double your list that way. Own or lease a home. They got a roof over their head because we need to have somewhere to host sip and shares. Mm-hmm. That's also important because they control the environment. Mm-hmm. We love social media for social proof, but we don't own Facebook. Just like Facebook shut down the other day. Like if that's your only way of building, you're out of business. I don't trust them. Okay. So I
mean, just look at Mark Zuckerberg. Do you trust him? We
love his stories.
He's the most antisocial person that owns the largest social platform.
I know, right?
That's crazy.
Irony.
Yes, I like it.
So own a home and then makes at least $40,000 a year, because they got to have money to get started. They got to have money to invest into products initially, and also to retain their auto ship and all that. Because some people are a little bit slower with getting the volume in to replenish the auto ship. They need to have the money to get started in the business. And so we build that list of 100. and then we categorize. So we basically just have a chart. So you put the names down on one side, and you have each category of the 4 across the top, and you literally just put a check by each one that you think that person is. And so you always contact the 4 checkers first on down to the 1 checkers, because the 1 checkers will probably be the biggest problem. They're not very coachable. They don't want to listen. You know, you just have more obstacles to overcome with the 1 checker. So we go after the 4 checkers first. Those individuals are prime and ready for network marketing, for us to tap into. We look at everybody as a doorway to thousands of people. And so we found that those are the top, that 4 checker person is that ideal individual as well.
Yeah, baby.
You're welcome.
Like, I'm sure my team is sitting here like, this is blowing my mind right now. It's just incredible. I'm taking probably more notes than anybody else. I love it.
You know, Brenda, I will also say this. The other reason why we build person to person in homes is because we love people, you know, and culture and connection is so important in network marketing. You are tapping in, helping people tap into different levels of themselves, different, you know, they're dreaming again. They're believing in themselves again. That person who was scared to lead silent prayer at church, you know, you see them grow. Like, I have a young lady that I met on a social networking site. It was called In Houston. And Alyssa. And so she had just moved to Houston from Ohio. And I reached out to her on that. I invited her out to a meeting that we were having. She came out to see the meeting. She didn't have the money to get started, but she was very driven, very focused. She told me later that night her husband had just prepared their kids spaghetti that they made with some frozen peas and like some cream of chicken sauce in a can, because that's all they had. They didn't have any money. And so she was terrified to speak in public just because of her past and her a little bit of stutter that she had, you know, very insecure, all of that. And we just took her under our wing. And just through doing the work and building the business, it built their marriage. It built her confidence. Now she does conferences all over the world. She has multiple businesses. Like, to this day, she continually says, like, that day that I met you in 2009 completely changed my life. And so that's because of the touch. Like, you know, if I hug you, you have a different connection with me than if I just wave and say hi to you or send you a message. It's completely different. So we meet people online, but we take the relationship offline and we build it that way. It just, you know, when you get into somebody's home and their children are there and their children know you by name and you build that relationship, now you create a family type of environment and people want to be a part of something. And they want to feel like they matter. And so when you do the in-home meetings, that's the point. To provide an atmosphere and an environment for someone to want to be included. And that is so critical to the culture. You have to come together. That's why the company has events. They have these smaller events that they're doing. Then they have a conference as well. Why? Because you got to bring the people together. And so every time we do a sip and share, it's like a mini conference. So just imagine how excited you were when you left conference. People feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof when they leave their sip and shares, because they're like, even if nobody showed up or nobody got started, they're like, man, I did it. And of course, we're going to speak life into them. So they're going to be even more encouraged to do another one. And so it adds to the excitement and the momentum, and we get more time out of that person. You got about 72 hours once a person gets started to get them some results before they check out mentally. And so you got to get them doing something. And so getting them busy, inviting for a sip and share is a way to lock them into the business a little bit longer. And so every day you're just looking for another way to keep them an extra day, because you know what's possible if they stick with it.
So how do you guys invite? Could you guys give any tips on that?
Yeah. Be in a hurry, show value, take it away. Be in a hurry, show value, take it away. The first thing that we always do is number one, it's all about a connection in the conversation at first. So I don't rush into a conversation. My first thing is, are you available to talk? Matter of fact, if you go onto YouTube and type in Jarrod Wilkins Inviting, you will literally hear me role playing on exactly and precisely what we have taught and what we do to invite people.
Okay.
I learned this from a guy. Huh?
Is it on your YouTube? Do you have a YouTube channel?
Do I have a YouTube channel?
Yes, you do, babe.
Oh. I have a YouTube channel.
He has all of that.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's Jarrod Wilkins, right?
Yeah, hold on. No.
You can go on YouTube and type in Jarrod Wilkins Inviting. Because I'm going to give you just high level right now, but if you want to know the details, because we just don't have time to go through it all, just want to let you guys hear it yourself. Jarrod Wilkins Inviting, you should be able to pull it up, right? She's pulling up on her phone right now. We're so social. I mean, we're very, very social. So the invite, the key to the invite is, let me just kind of give you my mindset around invite, right? It's all about going to like a movie, and you get to a movie and there are trailers that show up before the movie starts. How many of us seen a trailer and you're like, oh, I can't wait till that movie comes out? That's how an invite is supposed to be. Your invitation is your trailer, meaning I'm not telling you all the details. I'm not giving you all the specifics. I'm giving you little highlights to bring you in to the full presentation movie. Right? So where they
can Google that.
Yeah, just Jarrod Wilkins Invite on YouTube, and it pulls up how to invite. Awesome. Okay, there's a 16-minute one, how to invite. Yeah, 8,000 views on it. Okay, go to that. You can hear what I exactly say to invite people. And watch this, whether they're in town, out of town, whether I teach you strategies on talking to people that are more successful than you, the backdoor approach. All those, I mean, it's very specific. I learned it from a guy. This guy that I learned from, this guy, he's since passed, but he was with a company, one of the granddaddy companies of them all, the granddaddy of them all, called Amway. He was a double diamond in Amway. Now, double diamond in Amway is not like double diamond in Edwards. Okay? It's been only 20 or so double diamonds in the history of Amway. And Amway's been around for over 50 years, okay? And they do about 10, 11 billion a year in sales. But he taught me, because he was an engineer by profession, and he hated going to meetings and inviting people and nobody ever showed up. So he said he got tired of going to meetings. And back then, you know, they would drive an hour to go, using payphones and pagers and like Google Maps to get to places. Like this, yeah, MapQuest. No, they weren't using MapQuest. They were using like the little maps.
We had MapQuest.
Yeah, we had MapQuest. We blessed. They had the paper map. Anybody ever use the paper maps? I never understood that stuff. That's almost why I didn't do network marketing, because I'm like, man, I would have to learn geography, and I hate it. Anyway, he taught me how to invite. He never made less than $500,000 a year because he got tired of going to meetings and nobody showed up. So he said he was either going to have to learn how to invite or get really good at taking a gun to people's head and forcing them to the meeting. So I'm glad he learned how to invite, and I learned how to invite, and so we give that free. So.
But Kayla, to answer your question, if a person lives out of town or out of state, we launched their business with a Zoom. Okay, so that's how we support them. They invite everybody to the Zoom. We launch it that way, but we launch it into their sip and share. So, for example, let's say they get started on Monday, and so we'll schedule their Zoom like on a Wednesday, and their sip and share will be that Friday or Saturday. Yeah. And so on that Zoom, we're promoting their sip and share that's getting ready to take place. So that's half of their effort to invite is already knocked out the park by us, because we're steadily edifying and promoting it. And so when they have their sip and share, we do ours differently. We have a video presentation on our team website, and they just literally press play, and it does all the talking for them. So they don't have to learn the presentation or anything. They just literally share, hey, I'm Porshea. I just got started in a business. I'm excited. I'm ready to earn some extra money. I love the products. I'm going to play this video so you can hear more about what it is that we do. They play the video, and then afterwards, you want to be a loyal customer? Or you want to join me in business? And that's literally how it goes. And so we've had so many people join just by doing that. It creates duplication, you know, because that person now doesn't have to worry about learning everything before they share. Okay, cuts out the learning curve. We just think of ways to eliminate the obstacles that people would have to go to. And that was one of the obstacles that we were getting early on in our career, with people like, well, I don't know the presentation, or I don't speak as good as you, or, you know, I don't know how to move an audience or a crowd, or I'm just afraid to talk in front of people. Right, you don't have to. Get them to your home. You get them to your home for your baby shower. You get them to places for a wedding. You get them to birthday parties. You know how to get some people at your home. It's the same thing. And so you take it's relationships. And so you get them there and press play on the video. And even if you don't have one, you just share your experience and let them experience the product. It's hard for a person to be negative if they like the product. If you get a person on the product, you're more than likely to get progress out of them in the business. And so that's one of the benefits of being in person. You can get it right now. I don't have to just explain keto to you and wait for your shipment and do all of that. Here, drink it right now. And so now they're like, oh, I love the taste. Wonderful. Do you want to sell this with me, or do you want to be a customer because you like it? And so the closing rate is so much higher that way when you're in person. They can see you. They can look you in the eyes. They can shake your hand. You're not just some weirdo that sent them a message. They know you because they're in person with you. And so, it just closes the deal that much faster when you are in person. Onboarding. Yeah.
You guys
That's my new word.
Do you do vendor events too, or just more like
wherever people are is where you need to be?
Yeah.
Where you can if your gym will let you set up a booth, then you set up a booth at your gym. If the grocery store, they let Girl Scouts set up outside at the entry at grocery stores, then hey, you can too. If somebody's put on a function, like you said, I have a ministry, and so I'm friends with a lot of women who have ministries as well. They have events all the time, and they have vendor booths at their events. So while I'm there speaking and ministering to them, sharing the word of God, guess what? You can head on over to my booth because I'm a kingdom entrepreneur. And if you love me so much, don't worry about, sowing into the ministry. You can sow into my business and be a customer. So, the trade shows. We had a guy in a previous company that used to set up booths at gun shows. He would set up booths at gun shows, and he would break the product down. Like, say, for example, if it was a keto coffee, he would sell it by the packet. He would, and then sometimes he would make it. He had made a whole container of the product, and he would sell it by the cup. Like, people would go and they want coffee, So he would go and he would sell the product there. Made a killing. He was a college kid, made crazy money, and that's all he did. Was like vendor events and trade shows and stuff like that. And so, people are going to find their fit and their lane, but wherever people are is opportunity. Period. If you meet somebody like Amanda Gully, she's a triple. We had her come to our Super Saturday that we did here in Houston, a training event, and she was talking about her journey. Her biggest leg of business, she met at a graduation party of a friend. Wow. So she was out the house around people, met somebody, said, you know what? You could be great at what it is that I do. What do you do? I make money off my cell phone. What? How you do that? Boom. So her biggest leg of business came from going to someplace where she met somebody in person.
Yeah, that's like me too. My biggest, we met in a Britney Spears concert. We just had mutual friends, and we were like, hey!
One more time.
Yeah. And one more thing before we get off. I had some people asking for tips in my group today about blitzing. Now, I'm sure you guys have been blitzing your entire network marketing career, maybe not calling it blitzing. But so tips on that. How do you approach people when you're out and about?
Hey, join.
I know.
I think everybody's different. I've never, I don't go out to prospect.
We call it prospecting.
I don't go out to blitz. I just blitz while I'm out.
That's it.
And hear me. It doesn't mean that when I'm blitzing, I'm just handing out flyers or talking to everybody in the room. I may spot that one person that looks sharp, that looks like they have the personality, because people want to do business with individuals that they know, like, and trust. So you're always one person away from a massive explosion happening in your business. You can find that one person at a grocery store, a birthday party, or at a Britney Spears concert.
Anyway,
you just got to be aware. You understand? So the attitude that I have towards the business is, I just go out and live life, and the right people, we always attract each other. You follow me? And so there's a strategy called FORM, FORM, that I use in terms of my format. So you don't need to become what I call a network marketing weirdo and put "it works" on your forehead, or wear "it works" belt that lights up that says "join the business," or you don't need to do all that, right? At all. You just need to connect with people. And so FORM, FORM. F stands for family, O stands for occupation, R stands for recreation, and M stands for money or message. And I use that in my conversation piece. And one of the things that I always do is I give, to open up the conversation, a sincere compliment. Oh, I love your purse. Where did you get that? My wife would love that.
I'll say, oh my gosh, I love your outfit. What kind of business do you own?
Oh, I love your shoes. Are those red? No, those aren't red bottom. But I love your shoe. Or whatever. You find something, and it has to be a sincere compliment. But when you do that, it opens up the channels and the doorways for communication. Now, watch this. If and when I do that, if I give a sincere compliment and that person is stone-faced and me, I don't go any further. Because I'm looking for people that are warm, open, and easy to talk to. I'm not going out blitzing. You know what I'm going out to do? Let me tell you what I'm going out to do. I'm going out to win friends and influence people. That's it. Yeah. I'm going out to, go ahead, baby.
When I hear the word blitz, I think of like, here, like super intense, just go do a whole bunch of activity. We always call it prospecting, because for me, again, there's a difference between sponsoring and recruiting. I'm looking to sponsor somebody, not just get another number. I don't care how many people you recruited. You can put 1,000 people in the business. Who's building?
Right.
Who's putting up some numbers?
Did you sell 1,000 kits?
Did you sell 1,000 kits?
It's 1,000 people that joined at $20. You're a kit salesperson.
Yeah, that's the volume in that. And no. And like, what did you do with that person? It's impossible to recruit that many people a month and still be able to create duplication, because you can't work with all those people. Right. So somebody's going to fall through the cracks. And now that person's quit the business in the industry because it didn't work for them, because you were all over the place. You were doing too much too fast.
So sometimes you got to slow down so you can speed up. So blitzing, there's nothing wrong with blitzing. What we're saying is, remember, language is the software of the mind. Words are the birthplace to feelings. So sometimes when you hear a word, it obviously creates a feeling. So for us, when we hear blitz, because I've been in a blitz, I know in terms of blitzing, it's an intense process. My mind doesn't operate under intensity in that level in terms of attraction. I call it relaxed intensity. That's why I say I go out to make friends. How many friends can I make today? Because here's the thing, you can out social media market me. You can place more ads than me. These girls, they do all types of wonderful things online, and some of the guys too. They've got click funnel marketing, pay-per-click marketing. They've got Google search optimization. You can do all that better than me. But you know what most people can't do better than you? Make friends.
That's it. You can't out-friend me.
You know what most people can't do better than you? Is have a sincere connection with people. Yeah. You know what most people will not be able to do with you? Take the time to really care. Watch this, about a person's value and not just their volume.
Preach.
Can I ask you a question? The top people on your team that are what's their kids' names? When's the next birthday? See, when you take a sincere, and I'm really big on this. I take a sincere interest in people. It does not mean that I'm going to be a permission-based leader. No. 5 different levels of leadership. I just covered this on my Facebook wall. I just did a Facebook Live. First level of leadership is position. Write it down. This is John C. Maxwell's in his book. You need to read it. Yeah. First level of leadership, and this has all to do with friends. This has all to do with blitzing. It has all to do with prospecting, because I'm telling you, when you become a better leader, because a leader of one is a leader of many. If you can't lead one, you cannot lead any. When you become a better leader, you will be able to do less and accomplish more. Did you hear me? When you become a better leader, you will be able to do less and accomplish more, because it is not in the doing that the more gets accomplished, it's in the becoming.
Mm-hmm. That was good, babe.
Was that good?
Yeah.
This is not prepared. There are no notes.
There are no notes. This is just how we do.
I'm just flowing in the spirit right now. Now, so the first level of leadership is position-based leadership. People follow you because of your title. They follow you because of your title. You know, position-based leadership works typically in the corporate world because you're a manager or supervisor. So they have to submit to you because you're a supervisor, because you're a manager. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work in network marketing. No. Title and income
do not qualify you for respect or leadership.
At all. I don't care how much you're making. Nope. It doesn't matter to me. Mm-hmm. Why? Because even a broken clock is right at least 2 times a day. Mm-hmm. So just because you're making $100,000 a year or $100,000 a month does not mean that qualifies you for my leadership. I was talking to a guy yesterday. No, day before yesterday. He's in another company. We were talking, and he's like, "So how long you been at It Works?" I was like, 7 months. And he says, "So what, what type of volume are you guys doing?" I said, "Well, about our third month, we were, doing about $250,000 in sales a month, by our third month in It Works." He's like, "Oh, that's good. This, that, and the other. My last company, I did $280 million in sales." Awesome. Then he sent me their comp plan of his company. He says, we did $2.2 million last month in sales. I think that was their 14th or 15th month in their business. I was like, "That's awesome." Start sending me comp plan and all this stuff. I'm like, "Dude, I'm not open. I'm not interested, and I'm not recruitable."
Why are you saying
Why?
that?
And then I began to carve him up like a Thanksgiving turkey. And I started telling him about all my other friends that are making millions of dollars, that have the best products, and everybody got the best compensation plan. Everybody's CEO is the best and has the most integrity and is next to Jesus's foot. I get it. Everybody says the same thing, and you should. That's wonderful. But I'm not joining you because of your money or your title or your position. That's number one. Number two is permission-based leadership. Permission-based leadership means people follow you because they like you. Mm-hmm. So these are our people pleasers in leadership. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't want to tell a person they've got this spinach in their teeth because you don't want to hurt their feelings. If a person has spinach in their teeth and they're talking to you, you want to, "Hey, baby, you got something in your teeth." Or they got lipstick on their teeth. You don't take. Now she's wrong. She thinks she's cute. She got a red lipstick all in her teeth, and you ain't. Permission-based. I'm the leader that, "Baby, come in. You got lipstick in your teeth.
Wipe it up. No, still a little bit more.
Yeah, you use your tongue. Wipe it up. You got spinach. I'm glad you had spinach. It's fortified. You need to get that. See, permission-based leaders, they won't tell you. They don't want to confront you. But write this down. You cannot correct what you fail to confront. I confront respectfully, politely, and privately. You never confront publicly. You never confront from your platform. You confront privately. That's permission-based leadership. The third level of leadership is production. People follow you because they respect your results. You produced results. You're executive. You're Ruby. All here it is. You've built to diamond. You didn't buy diamond.
No.
Okay. All right. You didn't buy your position. You built it.
That's right.
You weren't paying for people. You built it. So they respect your results. The fourth level of leadership is personal development leader, meaning you have other leaders on your team that are production-based leaders, that you've helped or assisted people to create results. So people follow you because you're a personal. We've got 3 triples and a presidential on our team. Personal developed. We didn't do the work for them. Yep. Your responsibility is to be an example and to create an atmosphere and an environment for people to choose work for them and their families. And then the highest level of leadership is pinnacle-based leadership. People follow you because of who you are and what you stand for, your principles and your philosophies over a lifetime. Yes. People will drop their nets. Oh, here it is, and follow you.
They sure will.
There was a guy that showed up 2,000 years ago, and I'm closing. He started off working as a carpenter in his father's company, and got a big vision, got a big dream. wanted to go build something called a kingdom, and wanted to build a kingdom on earth. And so he got the vision to build this kingdom on earth. That's somewhere in the book of Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom. All right. And so he starts to build this kingdom, but if it is a dream, it requires a team.
Right.
If the dream doesn't require a team, it's a scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear me? If so, for the I don't want to talk to anybody. You don't have a dream yet.
Right.
When you have a dream, a divine dream, something that is visionary, something that is not only visionary, something that is going to be lasting, impactful, something that is going to impact the lives of other people, it requires a team. That's why you hear people say it takes teamwork to make the dream work. That young man dropped the carpentry business to build, watch this, the kingdom business, and he started to do some recruiting. He went out with no Facebook. He went out with no Instagram. He went out with no MySpace. He went out with no YouTube, and he started recruiting some people, and he just didn't recruit everybody or any old body. He recruited people of influence. He recruited a guy named Matthew, who was a physician, a doctor. Let me ask you a question. Have you talked to your gynecologist about Edwards? Yeah, that one. Have you talked to her about it? Or are you still on social media looking for people to talk to? All right, I'm coming. He talked to, James and John. See, James and John, when he talked to them about kingdom business, they were fishermen. They owned a fishing company. Back then, owning a fishing company was a big deal. That was the trade of the time. And he talked to them, and he talked to several other people. He went out, watch this, he sponsored 12 people. He sponsored 12 people, and for 3.5 years, he mentored, he coached, he developed 12 people for 3.5 years. And 2,000 years later, he's got billions of people on AutoShip. 2,000 years later, he's got loyal customers. 2,000 years later, he's got conferences still going on all around the world in different languages, different nationalities, different political beliefs. Guess why? Because he was willing to go do what was required. So what's my message to you? Pinnacle-based leadership. Mm-hmm. That's the end goal. Where who you are and what you stand for attracts the right people.
Amen. Amen. And I got a question just about what we use to show the plan. So everything that we have, all our marketing materials, videos, everything, before we even launched with It Works, corporate reviewed and approved everything for us, because we knew that we were going to come in and make a big impact, and we knew that that would attract eyeballs. And so we wanted to make sure that even though it's a little different, it still steers everyone in the same direction. And so that's why everything we have is completely generic. So anybody can use any of the resources however they see fit.
Thank you guys. Oh my gosh. I like Jarrod's talking and I'm like, wait, please don't stop. Oh my gosh, we're gonna
go.
I know.
He was born with a microphone.
It's just like I mean, like there's so many times I got goosebumps. I'm just like so amazed. And again, you guys are coming in with a different message that a lot of these people are hearing. And I love that. I love that. It's definitely just powerful. And we're just cheering you guys on and watching from afar. I'm like, did you see what they're not? When you're posting, I'm like telling my husband all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just so inspiring. And not only that, but just what you guys stand for. Like I said, you guys probably missed it, but I was like, I'm kind of their silent little stalker over here. And they don't really know it, but it's so inspiring, to me. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. You guys even stayed a few minutes over, and I just appreciate that. So tons of notes. I personally have got tons of notes, so I'll make sure that I share with everybody in the recording and everything. But thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Bye.
Go Ambassador, everybody. Let's go.
Go Ambassador.
Everybody.